r/the10thDentist. Youngest79 says, growth mindset is not based in reality. When I was in middle school, all the 7th graders had to watch this presentation on growth mindset. Even back then, I was able to see right through it. I knew it was just trying to make us feel better about our respective mediocrities. In a nutshell, growth mindset is you can become good at anything through hard work. It's as laughable as it sounds. Studies have shown that IQ rarely increases over time. You're either smart or you aren't, and there's no fixing that. Do you seriously think a dwarf could become an NBA All-Star? Those little leagues aren't close to the same. Could someone with Down syndrome suddenly become a super genius because of hard work and dedication? Could dyspraxic me ever even become close to as good at sports as everyone else my age? If you said no to these, that would be considered fixed mindset. That's right, acknowledging reality is contrary to the growth mindset theory. I just think, as unfortunate as it sounds, some people will always just be naturally more intelligent and better at certain things than other people, and little can be done to fix that. Donkeybrains_ says, your counter argument here is basically saying that improvement is not possible. You don't need to become the best or even among the best to have improved or grown a weakness. Also, not being able to do something does not exclude you being able to do something else. So, while someone with dwarfism will likely not play in the NBA, they can still become good and improve themselves in many other aspects and even their basketball ability. Flying Cactus 2047 says, I think you're just misunderstanding growth mindset. No Attention 9838 says, you're confusing quantifiable personal growth with becoming a paragon in a given field. They are not the same thing, and to think otherwise is outside the scope of either nuance or reality. Arson says, my too long, didn't read, for this post is, sad person makes excuses for not wanting to do any introspection or self-improvement. Unimpressed_llama says, if you aren't genetically predisposed to be literally top 1% elite, you shouldn't try one bit at anything, because other people will be better than you, and that should make you feel bad. Op needs to seriously evaluate where they derive their personal value. Arson says, I seriously hate the way so many 10th dentist posts are just people describing their mental illnesses. Hating yourself isn't an opinion, it's a psychological problem way beyond Reddit's pay grade. Why can't we just get fun posts, like I love the smell of wet dog, or I don't think horses are cool or majestic, or I love walking upstairs on all fours? r/the10thDentist. OK Consideration 2676 says, going to the doctor a lot. I go to the doctor quite a bit. I'm a hypochondriac, so maybe my thought is biased, but I will go for even little things. I get sick, not easily, but often. Pink eye, UT, sinus infections, stomach bugs, you name it. We pay for the insurance, why not use it, especially if it will calm my anxieties? Soap Sponge says, why not use it? Because for many people, insurance is not useful until they hit a 4-digit deductible and still requires payment for copay/co-insurance. Also, going to the doctor is often a major inconvenience requiring time off work, which many don't have. Julian says, doesn't seem like it calms your anxiety as much as it masks a deeper lying issue. One major reason to not go to the doctor when you have a minor cold is that the other people there are actually sick and could infect you while you wait or use the restroom or touch a pen. Heelson Cobblestone says, because there's a healthcare worker shortage. Because you go when you don't need to, there's less capacity for people who do. Yutoalel says, seems like an easy way to make healthcare jobs 10x more stressful for no reason. So what's the problem? Yeah, I threw up. What do you want them to do? Tell you to go home and drink some Pedialyte? You just waste resources, time, keep medical attention from people who need it and expose yourself and others to a crap ton of illnesses. Also, if you need a doctor, why not just call them? Those are significantly cheaper and you aren't dealing nearly as much harm as going in person. r/the10thDentist. Road to Babylon says, everyone is constantly daydreaming. I tried talking to some of my buddies about how often they daydream and most of them say not very often. I'm convinced they're lying to me. Not only is everyone else daydreaming, whether to cope with a shitty environment or because they find it interesting, but daydreaming is also the most engaging activity you can partake in. There isn't a second that goes by where I'm not constantly fantasizing. Even when I'm writing an assessment or walking to work, I'm always writing up new stories in the back of the mind, where I'm the main character doing something semi-related to the task I'm doing in real life. I used to listen to music on my bike. Just a phone speaker set to low volume. I would ride late at night. And it's like my imagination goes on overdrive as soon as the music starts playing. I had to stop listening to music as I would completely forget that I'm even pedaling on public roads. I have a bunch of single player games that I haven't completed yet either. I would just stare at the environments while imagining myself in that world. It sounds corny and I've been labeled as a dopehead growing up, but I categorically refuse to believe that most people aren't doing this 24/7. In real life, I'm just a college student working a shitty part-time job. In my mind, I can be or do anything. Your imagination is infinitely more interesting than your real life, and this body of mine is just a vessel for me to continue. Drumeatster says, I wonder, do you happen to have any other ad symptoms? Alex 73134 says, this was my first thought as well. Or probably just hasn't diagnosed AD, or it's diagnosed and doesn't realize it's part of it. My partner who has AD constantly gets lost in thought and I need to repeat myself for them to snap out of it. Obviously not exactly the same as OP, but in the same vein. Maybleing says, it's not uncommon. There's a sub for people that can find daydreaming to be obstructive for daily life. r/maladaptive dreaming. There's also one for people that enjoy it without finding it to be intrusive on their day to day. Can't be asked to look it up at the moment, but it's out there. Poop Shows 42 says, you really think you understand what is going on in every single other person's brain? This reeks of a shitpost. But then again, according to you, you barely experience reality. Just imagine I'm agreeing with you. r/the10thDentist. Cool Funk says, new Minecraft caves suck. I remember being excited for the Caves and Cliffs update, but wow, what a letdown it managed to be. I'm surprised so many people liked it. First of all, the caves are just way too damn big. It might look pretty, but it makes the experience way too overwhelming as you're wasting stacks and stacks of coal just to light it up. It often becomes annoying, rather than fun to build, so many structures just to traverse around and reach the roofs, where the ores are. I miss when you could naturally map out a cave in your head without having to worry about huge rooms the size of a mega build with 100 different pathways, 2 of which actually go somewhere. It feels like padding, rather than adding something fun. Second of all, strip mining being made completely redundant, and took out a viable way of playing the game. I'll admit, mining has never been my favorite part of the game. But at least before I could just mine down to Y-16 and find some diamonds to progress onwards. Now that it's been expanded way further down, and you have to mine deep slit, and the fact that diamonds are more equally spread, it's ruined this approach. Now there's only one way to play, which is to go caving, which takes the fun out of the sandbox nature of being able to approach the game however you want. I'd much rather play the older version just before the Caves and Cliffs nowadays. I just hate it so damn much. It's basically destroyed my enjoyment of the early game, as I'm now stuck doing a very tedious and unfun exploration of dark and boring stones and Eogeminge Extreme says, upvote, I can't believe someone actually wants to strip mine, and I love the new caves, both look and gameplay, they are so much fun to explore, and actually a bit challenging. Z3R0 says, strip mining is just a relaxing time and weirdly satisfying. Flat_great9646 says, I wasn't a fan of strip mining, but the old cave systems are nostalgic to me, and I refuse to let that part of my childhood go. I haven't played the newer update as much though, so I'm not sure if those are entirely gone, or still somewhat relevant. Tubis9001 says, they are gone for the most part. But Minecraft makes it really easy to play any old version you want right from the launcher, including snapshots and old April Fool's builds. Lord_Northeast says, I somewhat agree. I have found that night vision can make massive caves a bit better, since you can run through them quickly and grab the ores. But I've only tried this in mod packs where night vision is more accessible, never actually in vanilla, so your mileage may vary. Also, in terms of strip mining being redundant, some ores spawn extra with reduced air exposure, so modding at least intends to make strip mining useful. That's all for this video, thank you for watching, please subscribe.